You've likely been told your entire life that taking vitamins is one of the best things you can do for your health, and in many cases, that's true. Vitamins are essential for nearly every cellular function, from energy metabolism to brain function to immune regulation. But what if I told you that certain healthy vitamins, ones found in common supplements, daily multivitamins, even fortified foods, could be silently eroding the strength of your legs, impairing circulation, damaging your nerves, and accelerating muscle atrophy? It sounds dramatic, and yet the science is clear. Too much of the wrong vitamin at the wrong time in the wrong form can damage the very systems we rely on to stay mobile, strong, and independent, especially as we age. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about clarity. Because your legs are more than limbs, they are your foundation. From the moment you get out of bed to the time you lie down at night, your legs regulate blood flow, balance, glucose metabolism, and overall mobility. When your legs weaken, the brain-body loop begins to deteriorate. Posture changes, circulation slows, cognitive function dips, and the risk of falls and even early mortality increases. The good news is this process is preventable and in many cases reversible, but it requires understanding what the science actually says, not what marketing campaigns tell you. In today's episode, we're diving into 3 vitamins that most people believe are healthy, but can silently damage leg health when misused. You'll learn how these compounds affect your nerves, your blood vessels, and your muscle tissue, and more importantly, you'll walk away with research-backed strategies to protect your mobility, optimize nutrient intake, and support your long-term brain-body health. Here's what we'll cover: why more isn't always better when it comes to fat-soluble vitamins, the surprising nutrient that can block oxygen from reaching your muscles, how a common vitamin can disrupt nerve conduction and cause leg tingling or weakness, what the latest studies show about muscle retention and supplement timing, how to audit your current intake and build a leg protective supplement protocol, and tools, simple behavioral ones, that will help you sustain mobility, strength, and independence well into your later decades. Because at the end of the day, longevity isn't just about living longer. It's about moving better, thinking clearer, and showing up fully for your life. Let's get into it. When we think of antioxidants, vitamin E often tops the list, celebrated for its ability to neutralize free radicals and support immune health. But what most people don't realize is that excessive intake of vitamin E, especially in the form of alpha tocopherol from synthetic supplements, can actually impair the very processes your body uses to build strength, recover from exercise, and maintain healthy blood flow in your legs. Here's what the research shows. A 2014 study published in the Journal of Physiology found that high doses of antioxidant supplements, including vitamin E, can blunt the beneficial effects of exercise by interfering with mitochondrial signaling. And that's a problem, because your mitochondria are the energy engines of your muscle cells. When they can't adapt properly to the demands of movement or resistance, your muscles grow weaker, slower to repair, and more vulnerable to fatigue. Why does this happen? When you exercise, your body generates a small amount of oxidative stress, and that's actually a good thing. That mild stress signals your cells to grow stronger, create more mitochondria, and improve performance. But when you flood your system with large doses of vitamin E, it can dampen this signal, essentially turning off the body's natural adaptive response to stress. In simple terms, you work out, but your muscles don't get the full benefit. This becomes even more relevant as we age. Leg strength is one of the strongest predictors of long-term mobility and cognitive health in older adults. And yet many people over 50 begin supplementing with high-dose vitamin E, often 400 IU or more, thinking it's helping them recover. What they don't realize is that this level can impair endothelial function, that is, how well your blood vessels dilate and deliver oxygen to muscle tissue. A study in Circulation 2000 showed that excessive vitamin E can reduce nitric oxide availability, which is key for blood vessel flexibility and circulation. Your legs, that translates to slower recovery, greater fatigue, and even higher risk for issues like varicose veins or peripheral artery disease in the long term. Here's a relatable example. Imagine your leg muscles are like a high-performance engine. Exercise is the ignition. It signals your body to build more horsepower. But if you dump too much vitamin E into the system, it's like flooding the engine. You may have good intentions, but you stall the very adaptation you're trying to create. So, what can you do? A simple tool to apply is this. Check the label of any multivitamin or standalone vitamin E supplement. If it contains more than 100-200 IU of alpha tocopherol daily, you may want to reduce or eliminate it, unless specifically advised by a healthcare provider. Focus instead on getting vitamin E from whole food sources like sunflower seeds, almonds, and spinach, which include the full spectrum of tocopherols and tocotrienols that work synergistically. Another tip, if you're engaging in strength training or endurance exercise, avoid high-dose antioxidant supplementation for at least 4 to 6 hours post-workout. Give your body time to experience and respond to the adaptive stress first, because what's happening in your muscles isn't just about nutrients, it's about timing, signaling, and adaptation. The goal isn't to suppress stress completely, it's to train your system to get stronger because of it. And if this insight is helping you reframe how you think about supplements and performance, consider subscribing to the channel. There's more evidence-based content like this designed to support your physical, mental, and emotional health. Most people think of B vitamins as harmless, water-soluble, easily excreted, and essential for energy production. And generally that's true. But vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, is the exception. What makes B6 different is that unlike other B vitamins, it can accumulate in the body's tissues over time, especially when taken in excess. And that buildup doesn't just sit harmlessly, it can damage your peripheral nerves, specifically the nerves that run through your legs and feet. Here's what the research shows. A 2017 review published in Neurological Sciences confirmed that chronic vitamin B6 toxicity, even at doses as low as 100 to 100 milligrams per day, can lead to a condition called sensory neuropathy. That means people start experiencing tingling, burning, numbness, or weakness, most commonly in the lower extremities. In some cases, these symptoms mimic those of diabetic neuropathy. Even in people with no blood sugar issues at all. You might be wondering, if the recommended daily intake for B6 is only around 1.32 milligrams for adults, how do people end up consuming 50, 100, or even 200 milligrams a day? The answer lies in the supplement industry. Many energy boosters, multivitamins, pre-workouts, and mood enhancers include B6 at megadoses, sometimes 50x the recommended amount. It's marketed as a fatigue fighter, a hormone balancer, a mental clarity booster. But the body doesn't need that much. And when it builds up, the nerves in your legs often pay the price. A real-world analogy, think of B6 like caffeine. A little can be helpful. Too much, and you start to shake, lose focus, and become irritable. With B6, the damage is slower and more insidious, but no less real. You may feel fine at first, then begin noticing odd sensations in your legs, a sense of imbalance or reduced coordination. It's like your body's wiring is fraying. And often, people don't connect it to the vitamin they thought was helping them. What's happening in your nervous system is this: excess B6 interferes with how nerve cells transmit signal. That disrupts the sheath, the protective covering around nerves. That's particularly dangerous for the long nerves running down your spine and into your legs and feet, because they're more vulnerable to damage. Here's a practical tool. If you're taking supplements that contain vitamin B6, add up your daily intake. You might be surprised by how much you're getting across different products. Aim to stay below 50 deltas a day unless you're being supervised by a healthcare provider. And ideally, get your B6 from food. Chickpeas, salmon, bananas, and poultry are all excellent natural sources that don't pose the same toxicity risk. Another protocol. If you're experiencing unexplained leg tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness, and your blood sugar and thyroid levels are normal, ask your provider to check your B6 levels. It's a simple blood test, and it could reveal a cause that's often overlooked. This is a powerful example of how healthy supplements can have hidden downsides, especially when taken without guidance or long-term tracking. But by understanding the mechanism, you gain the power to reverse it. And if this message is helping you feel more equipped to make smarter supplement decisions, hit the like button and share this with someone you care about. You might help them catch a silent issue before it turns into something serious. Iron is vital. No question. It carries oxygen to every cell in your body, supports mitochondrial function, and plays a central role in energy production. But when it comes to iron supplementation, more is absolutely not better. In fact, taking iron when your body doesn't need it or absorbing more than you can regulate can impair the health of your legs in ways that are rarely discussed. Here's what the research shows. A 2012 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that excess iron, particularly in people without iron deficiency anemia, can elevate oxidative stress, reduce capillary density in muscle tissue, and even alter the composition of muscle fibers themselves. That translates into reduced endurance, increased fatigue, and slower muscle repair, particularly in the lower body where blood flow is gravity dependent and already more challenged. The science is rooted in something called iron-induced oxidative damage. Iron is a pro-oxidant. That means in excess it generates free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells, tissues, and blood vessels. In your leg muscles, this oxidative stress degrades mitochondria, stiffens capillaries, and limits the ability of oxygen and nutrients to reach working muscle fibers. To visualize this, imagine trying to run a marathon while breathing through a straw. That's what your muscles experience when microvascular flow is compromised by iron-induced stress. They're trying to work, but oxygen delivery is bottlenecked. The result? Heaviness, cramping, early fatigue, even nighttime leg pain that many mistake for poor circulation or restless leg syndrome. So where's the danger? It's in how easily we overcorrect. Many people, especially women, are told to take iron just in case, during menstruation, after surgery, or for vague feelings of tiredness. But unless you're clinically deficient, confirmed via ferritin and serum iron tests, that extra iron doesn't help. It hurts. And for older adults, the risk is even higher. As we age, our ability to regulate iron absorption diminishes. Excess builds up in the liver, heart, and critically, skeletal muscle. A study in Mechanisms of Aging and Development, 2010, showed that elevated iron stores were associated with sarcopenia, age muscle wasting. And that's especially concerning in the legs, which house the largest and most metabolically active muscle groups in your body. Here's a practical protocol. Only take iron supplements if a blood test confirms you need them. The key markers to track are serum ferritin, total iron binding capacity, TIBC, and transferrin saturation. If these are normal, focus instead on optimizing iron absorption through food synergy. Pair iron-rich foods like lentils or spinach with vitamin C sources like bell peppers or citrus, and avoid taking calcium or coffee with iron-rich meals, as both inhibit absorption. Another tool, if you're experiencing unexplained leg fatigue, frequent cramping, or a heavy, restless sensation at night, and you're taking a multivitamin or separate iron supplement, consider pausing supplementation and retesting your iron panel. This simple check-in can reveal a lot about how your body is processing and storing iron. Remember, oxygen delivery is non-negotiable. It powers every contraction, every step, every recovery cycle your legs go through. When iron is imbalanced, that system breaks down. So don't just default to more. Aim for what's right based on your biology, your labs, and your needs. Because when your muscles can breathe, they can thrive. While we've covered 3 vitamins that can harm your legs if misused, here's an equally crucial and often overlooked nutrient: magnesium. Magnesium isn't a villain, but it is one of the most common nutrients that people don't get enough of. And when magnesium levels are low, especially in the presence of excess calcium or vitamin D, it can wreak havoc on your leg muscles, nerves, and overall mobility. So why isn't anyone talking about this? Here's the research. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that magnesium plays a key role in maintaining muscle function and preventing cramps, something that's particularly important for your legs. When magnesium is insufficient, calcium levels can become dysregulated. Calcium is essential for muscle contraction, but it must be balanced with magnesium to relax muscles properly. Without enough magnesium, the muscle cells become hyperexcitable, leading to cramping, spasms, and reduced leg strength. But that's just the start. Magnesium also regulates nerve function. In fact, it's a gatekeeper for how nerves transmit signals to muscles. When magnesium is low, nerve conduction is slower, and leg weakness, numbness, or tingling can result. If you've ever had a cramp in the middle of the night, especially in your calves, you've felt this firsthand. The muscle tightens and won't let go. That's a magnesium issue. Let's break this down with an example. Think of magnesium like the brake pedal in a car. Calcium is the gas pedal. It tells your muscles to contract. Magnesium, however, tells them when to stop. Without enough magnesium, your muscles can't turn off properly after they contract. They're stuck in a tense state. And that tension can build up over time, leading to fatigue, soreness, and muscle damage in your legs. Here's where the problem gets even trickier. If you're supplementing with large amounts of calcium or vitamin D without paying attention to magnesium, you're exacerbating the problem. Calcium and vitamin D are both important for bone health and muscle function, but magnesium is the one that helps regulate the system. The imbalance between these nutrients can leave you feeling sluggish, achy, or more prone to injuries, especially in the lower body. What can you do? A simple tool to apply is this. If you're taking calcium or vitamin D supplements, make sure to balance them with magnesium. The optimal ratio for calcium to magnesium is about 2:1 calcium to magnesium. That means if you're supplementing with 1,000 milligrams of calcium, you should aim for about 500 milligrams of magnesium. Look for magnesium citrate or glycinate. These forms are more bioavailable and less likely to cause digestive upset. Another tip, you can also increase magnesium intake through food. Leafy greens like spinach, nuts like almonds, seeds like pumpkin, and even dark chocolate are great sources. Getting magnesium through whole food sources not only supports your muscles, but also ensures it's absorbed efficiently. When magnesium is in balance with calcium and vitamin D, your muscles work more efficiently, your nerves fire properly, and your legs remain strong, flexible, and pain-free. So if you're prone to nighttime cramps, unexplained muscle weakness, or frequent leg fatigue, magnesium might be the key to unlocking better leg health. If this insight has helped you connect the dots between magnesium and muscle function, don't forget to like and share this video with friends and family who might benefit from this hidden nutrient knowledge. If you've been paying attention so far, you've learned that it's not just the vitamins themselves, but when and how you take them that can have a significant impact on your leg health. It's common knowledge that nutrients work best when they're absorbed by the body, but fewer people realize that timing plays a crucial role in that process. The timing of when you take certain vitamins, especially in relation to your daily activities, can enhance or impair their effectiveness, particularly when it comes to muscle recovery, circulation, and strength. Here's what the research shows. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism explored how vitamin D and calcium supplementation interacted with physical activity. It found that when these nutrients were taken right before or immediately after exercise, they were absorbed more effectively, boosting muscle function and recovery. But if taken at the wrong time, particularly during periods of inactivity or at night, they didn't provide the same benefit. Vitamin D, for example, plays a vital role in muscle contraction and nerve function, crucial for everything from walking to sprinting. But for vitamin D to be most effective, it needs to be taken when your body is active. During or right after exercise, your muscles are primed for repair and nutrient uptake. That's when taking vitamin D with its partner calcium helps build stronger, more resilient legs. So why does timing matter so much? When you're active, your body's cells are more sensitive to nutrients. Your muscles and bones are undergoing micro-tearing from exertion, and those fibers need the right vitamins and minerals to heal and grow stronger. Taking a supplement during or after exercise aligns perfectly with this repair cycle. But if you take your vitamins at a time when your body isn't actively seeking repair, like in the evening when you're winding down, they don't get absorbed in the same way, leaving you with less benefit. For example, if you take a high dose of calcium in the evening, your body is winding down and not using it for muscle repair. Meanwhile, calcium has a tendency to promote mineralization in bones, but without magnesium in the proper balance, excess calcium at night can lead to muscle spasms or cramping, particularly in the legs. Here's a real-world analogy. Think of taking your supplements like fueling a car. If you try to fuel it when the engine isn't running, the fuel doesn't get used. However, if you fuel it right after the engine is running, when the demand for energy is high, that fuel will be converted into usable power. The same applies to your muscles when you supplement in alignment with physical activity. So, how can you apply this? A simple tool to apply is this. If you're supplementing with vitamin D, calcium, or magnesium, take them during or after your workout to maximize absorption and effectiveness. This is when your muscles are in need of repair and nutrient replenishment. For other supplements like vitamin E or B6, be mindful of when you take them. As we've discussed earlier, taking large doses of vitamin E or B6 too close to physical activity can actually hinder muscle recovery. So aim for morning or midday for those. Another tip, if you're an early riser or someone who works out in the morning, aim to take your magnesium and calcium shortly after breakfast or post-workout to support muscle function and recovery. For vitamins like vitamin D, pair it with meals containing healthy fats like avocado or olive oil for better absorption as it's fat soluble. By adjusting the timing of your supplements, you're essentially syncing your nutrient intake with your body's natural rhythm, optimizing muscle health and reducing unnecessary strain on your legs. By now, we've explored how excessive intake of certain vitamins can impact your legs, the importance of timing in supplementation, and the role of nutrient synergy. But there's one more crucial element to consider. The science of nutrition isn't one size fits all. While the research gives us general guidelines, how a particular vitamin or supplement affects your legs and your overall health can differ depending on your genetics. Here's what the research shows. A 2016 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition demonstrated that different individuals absorb, metabolize, and react to vitamins in distinct ways. This is especially true for fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D and vitamin E, where genetic factors, such as differences in liver enzymes, can influence how your body processes and stores these nutrients. For example, some people are genetically predisposed to absorb and retain higher levels of vitamin D, while others may struggle with vitamin D deficiency despite supplementation. Similarly, variations in how your body processes B vitamins, like B6, which we discussed earlier, can lead to toxicity at lower doses for some people. Your body's ability to regulate nutrient intake is shaped by factors like your gut health, liver function, and even your microbiome. This individual variability means that what works for one person may not work for another, and could even lead to negative side effects like muscle weakness, cramping, or nerve damage in your legs. The key is to recognize that your body is unique, and so are its nutritional needs. Take, for instance, vitamin E. While it's generally considered an antioxidant protecting cells from oxidative damage, some individuals with certain genetic variants may experience adverse effects. A 2018 study in Nutrients highlighted that for people with specific genetic profiles, high doses of vitamin E could actually increase oxidative stress rather than reduce it. In those individuals, excessive vitamin E could impair muscle recovery and contribute to leg pain or fatigue. Here's a practical tool. Start tracking how you feel after taking your supplements. If you notice unexplained cramping, muscle fatigue, or even changes in your gait or coordination, it may be your body reacting differently to certain vitamins. If this happens, consider getting your nutrient levels tested. A simple blood test for vitamin D, B6, or other key nutrients will reveal if you're in the optimal range or if you're overdoing it. Another protocol, consider working with a healthcare professional who can help assess your body's unique nutrient needs. Genetic testing or a detailed review of your diet and lifestyle can reveal underlying deficiencies or imbalances, guiding you toward the right supplementation strategy for your body. This individual variability also speaks to the importance of listening to your body. Your legs and the sensations you feel, whether it's soreness, cramping, or weakness, can be valuable indicators that something's off. Trust these signals and take them as clues to fine-tune your supplementation, diet, and overall approach to wellness. Today, we've explored the science behind 3 vitamins, vitamin E, vitamin B6, and iron, that when misused or oversupplemented can damage your legs in ways you may not have realized. What's clear from the research is this: vitamins aren't inherently harmful. It's the dosage, the timing, and the balance that matter. We've seen how excess vitamin E in particular can disrupt muscle recovery and cause leg fatigue. We've examined how vitamin B6, though crucial for nerve function, can become a liability in high doses, leading to nerve damage and leg weakness. And we've explored how the iron you're supplementing with, even though it's essential for energy, can actually reduce oxygen flow to your muscles, starving your legs of the fuel they need to perform. But there's a deeper truth we need to take away from this. Your body is a finely tuned system. When you optimize your vitamin intake, whether by balancing doses, timing your supplements, or focusing on nutrient synergy, you're giving your legs, your muscles, and your entire body the tools to thrive. Here's what the science tells us. Optimal health doesn't come from taking more of something. It comes from understanding what your body truly needs. When you listen to your body, when you track your symptoms, and when you adjust accordingly, you start to feel the difference. You'll notice more energy, less fatigue, fewer cramps, and improve leg strength. But it starts with knowledge, knowing when to supplement, when to step back, and when to embrace the natural balance your body craves. So if today's insights have resonated with you, if you felt the pull to reevaluate your vitamin regimen, consider taking action. Start with a simple blood test to assess your vitamin levels, adjust your supplementation, paying attention to timing and balance. And remember, the goal isn't to eliminate or restrict, but to align your choices with what your body can truly use to function at its best. I challenge you to begin today. Test your levels, track your symptoms, and most importantly, make the conscious decision to optimize your health, not by adding more, but by truly understanding what your body needs. If you found this video helpful, and you're committed to elevating your mind, body, and health through science-driven, evidence-based practices, I invite you to join this community. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on more powerful insights to help you reach your full potential. Thank you for watching, and here's to taking smarter, more informed steps towards better leg health and overall well-being. You've got this.